What is good, YouTube, man? Today I'm back with you guys, with the nation, for another video, man. And today I'm gonna step away from the film real quick. I'm gonna step away from the live real quick. And I'm gonna just give you guys the old school Raiders offseason / OTAs news, man. Like we've gotten some decent news, right? We gotten some pressers, we gotten some, again, shout out to some of the Raiders review and Raider report like channels and all that kind of stuff from out there in Las Vegas that get us those nice OTA practice videos. So shout out to those guys, man. And let's get it, man. We got some pressers again. This last presser consisted of, I believe, Ruggs. We had Ruggs, Waller, Renfro, and Mullen, right? I think those were the four guys that we saw in the presser. So shout out to all of those guys. We got some good content from that. And before I get into today's video, man, shout out to Icy Nate for yet again creating today's thumbnail. Go check out his YouTube page. Get him to 1,100 subscribers, man. You guys help me get there. Help him get there, man. It's at Icy_Nate. But let's get into today's videos, right? Let's get to today's topic, man. And one guy that I'm gonna be talking a lot about today is Henry Ruggs, right? I feel like he's gotten a lot of news, right? There's been, a lot of critique of him. He's too small. He needs to gain weight. He needs to get better on this and that and this and that. And I'm here to tell you that I recently just watched, I believe it was like a 9 or 8 minute video. It was with him and his trainer. So he has a trainer that he's working out with this offseason. And his trainer confirmed that Henry Ruggs that day had currently weighed in at 195 pounds. That's a lot bigger than what, he was last year. I think he was like probably closer to like 179, 181, closer to that kind of range. His coach, his trainer confirmed in that video that day Henry Ruggs stepped on the scale and weighed in at 195 pounds. And he said that Henry Ruggs himself said that that's something that they stay in check every single day. Every single day he gets into the weight room, every single day he has to step on the scale. That is a must. He also mentioned a bit in that same video that Henry Ruggs said that coming into the NFL, since entering the league, one of his biggest mentors throughout everything was actually Nelson Agholor. Recent departure. Nelson Agholor is now a New England Patriot. He got his bag. He got his $13 million and he dipped. But he actually said that Nelson Agholor took him under his wing and really cared for him a lot. And that was his biggest mentor. And in the NFL so far. Also, as a result of Henry Ruggs weighing in at 195 pounds, there's been reports that he's added close to 10 to 12 pounds of muscle. Now, I don't know how true that is, right? Because that's a lot of muscle. 10 to 12 pounds of muscle is a lot of muscle. I'm not going to lie. He's had a lot of time to do it. He's had a couple months already. So it is possible, right? I'm not doubting it at all. It's probably true at the end of the day. And if that's true, him going and gaining roughly 12 pounds of muscle, and we still have, 3 months away before the season, almost 4 months away from the season. Henry Ruggs is on track to doing what we all want him to do, and that's have a big year, right? 12 pounds of muscle is no joke. That's some serious size that he's adding to his game, right? And also, with that, according to the reports and scouts that are near the facility, also like some of those guys that are taking the film and all that kind of stuff of their OTAs and practices, they're saying that he's actually gotten pretty decent at improving his routes, right? They're saying that he's getting better as a route running along with adding that muscle, right? Maybe people might have thought that along him, adding the muscle, he might have taken a step back on the speed, or maybe he got a little bit more stiff. Maybe his route running wasn't going to be there. And it looks like Henry Ruggs is just improving on all aspects, right? Because he definitely didn't lose the speed, right? Last week we saw him, Mecole Hardman, Devin White, and I think Justin Jefferson do a 40-yard dash contest, and Henry Ruggs was still running in the 4.2s, right? And that was unofficial. So Henry Ruggs definitely didn't lose his speed. Reportedly getting about to 195 pounds, adding roughly 10 to 12 pounds of muscle, and is improving as a route runner. Like I said, man, with or without a new addition at the wide receiver room, I think that Henry Ruggs is going to have a great year. I think he'll be closing in on 950, 970 yards this season. I think he's going to have a massive year this year. And to hear that he's adding muscle, he's getting up there in weight, he's improving his routes, in my opinion, that only that only backs up my argument even more. And I'm expecting big things from Ruggs, and I think he will deliver. Now, going to another wide receiver on this roster, right? A guy who we've all been comparing to guys like Julio Jones and all these receivers, right? Bryan Edwards, right? You know, we got Bryan Edwards back week 17. He was reportedly at full health in week 17, but he didn't play too much, so it looked like maybe they were still trying to keep him out from, maybe re-injuring anything or retweaking anything that he already had messed up. And it's believed that right now he's back to full health, which is great. That is good news, because I'm excited to see Henry Ruggs and Bryan Edwards on opposite sides of each other this year. But in that press conference yesterday where we saw Hunter Renfrow and all these guys talk, Hunter Renfrow gave him some high praise. Along, he also gave Henry Ruggs some high praise. But what he said about Bryan Edwards is that he's really aggressive with his routes, and he's really aggressive with his hands. That creates mismatches for defensive backs, right? Because let's be honest, in the NFL, the play calling, and not only the play calling, but penalty flags and all this kind of stuff, it's all catered to the offense, right? So for Bryan Edwards to be getting, praise from a guy like Hunter Renfrow, who solid in this league, right? A good dominant slot wide receiver. For Bryan Edwards to be getting praise, saying that he's aggressive at his routes, he's aggressive at the catch point, he's aggressive with his hands, makes it hard for defensive backs to do anything to him, right? Because if they can't be aggressive back without causing a penalty flag, this just makes Bryan Edwards more and more dominant, right? Like I said, man, I'm excited to see Edwards and Ruggs opposite sides of each other again this year. I'm expecting big things from both those guys, right? I really am. Also, we talked about Henry Ruggs' weight. We talked about him adding some size and all that kind of stuff back to his frame. I want to take it to the defensive side of the ball, and let's talk about Damon Arnette, right? Immediately from day one of OTAs, the first snapshot that we got of Damon Arnette, I think it was pretty obvious. He gained his weight back, right? And that is 110% true. Arnette is reportedly back at 100% at his football weight, which we all know that last year he was down to 175 pounds. That is not good for any football player at all, right? That's not good at all for any player in this league. And for them to say that Arnette is reportedly, 100% back to his football weight almost, and he just looks overall bigger. You want to see that, right? You also see him and Ron Miles. You could hear on the first training camp video that we got. You saw Ron Miles kind of talking up a little bit like Damon Arnette, saying, let's go, good job, all this kind of stuff. Like, things that coaches say, but it was directed a lot to Damon Arnette specifically, right? And I'm excited for Damon Arnette, and so was Trayvon Mullen. Trayvon Mullen said it a lot, or not a lot, but he said, I'm excited to see how Trey, that's Damon Arnett's nickname, how Trey evolves and he's able to learn and get into this new system, right? Because let's be honest, this system that we're running is very similar to what guys ran at Ohio State. Ohio State is exactly this defense with some minor tweaks. It's college football, but Ohio State literally runs a cover 3 press bail defense. That's exactly what our base defense is. So Damon Arnette is going back to his natural, instincts kind of game. This is where he made his bread and butter in the slot his freshman year. Then where he was able to make even more bread and butter on the outside, opposite sides of Jeff Okudah, right? So Damon Arnette, I have no doubts in my mind that he's going to pick up this system, and he's going to be fighting to be that outside corner going into midseason and all that kind of stuff, right? I mean, him, Casey Hayward, learning and picking up things from those guys just makes it much easier. And I'm glad to hear this good news about Damon Arnette. Now, topic of the season, topic of the offseason, it seems like right now. The name that's always mentioned to us right now is Julio Jones, right? And let me just break it down a bit. So post-June, basically a lot of teams now, what happened is that all their caps went lower because now all the guarantees on most of their contracts and most of the players' contracts have now been given out. So if you were guaranteed so-and-so, such and such amount of money, you've been given that money, right? That's what happened. So we went from $5.9 million. We're now at $4 million. Teams like the Titans are now at $3 million. Teams like the Falcons is at $357,000, so they don't have no money. And what this does for us now is that now with post June 1st, Julio Jones would only cost us $7.75 million. We can make that money in a heartbeat, right? We have roughly, like I said, $4 million right now. You can make another $3.1 million with the departure of Jalen Richard. You can make another $1 million with the departure of Nathan Peterman, which I don't think that'll happen. But you can also make that money by Nevin Lawson. You can make money. You can make money quickly, right? You can. And I'm just being honest. And that's all that Julio Jones would cost us cap-wise if we were to, pursue that, right? I mean, there's been a lot of talk around the league right now and from insiders and all this kind of stuff that the Raiders have been one of the most active teams with Julio Jones. And if this is true, I would welcome Julio Jones in with open arms without a doubt. But if this is not true and we don't get Julio Jones, I like where Bryan Edwards and Henry Ruggs are at, man. I think they'll be very, very solid for us next season. And I'm just excited for the season to start up, man. I'm ready. I'm ready for everything to start, man. I want preseason to come and break down some preseason film and all this kind of stuff, man. But if you got all the way to this point in the video, man, let me know a player and drop Raiders Chalk Talk next to the player that you drop in the comment section down below. Drop the player that you want me to do a Raiders Chalk Talk episode 6 on, and I'll do it. I'll do it. As long as they were on this team or we're on this team now, like an NFL player, I don't want to do college film. I want to leave that to the experts like Sanjeet and all those guys, right? I'm going to stick to NFL and that kind of stuff. But drop a player's name that's on this roster that you guys want me to break down some film on for Raiders Chalk Talk episode 6. Let me know in the comment section down below the player, and right next to the player, just put hashtag Raiders Chalk Talk, man. Let me know that player in the comment section down below. But Raider Nation, that'll be it for today's video. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new. Also hit that notification bell so you do not miss a video. But I'm out, Raider Nation. Peace.